Hello, I'm Mantastic'c and Fantastic, and today I want to talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Collab, which has just returned once again to North America. So, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Collab made a huge splash upon its initial debut because it featured the chance that you could roll an entirely usable endgame content team, and obviously at that point in time, players were like, wow, and we all rolled heavily. So, there has been various reruns and returns and buffs here and there, and in this current iteration, it is unfortunately not that great of an event. It used to be much stronger a long time ago, relatively speaking, but for 10 magic stones, the cards just don't feel as magical as they once were. Now, that's not to say that there's no strong cards in this event, but it's just that I feel like rolling in here is kind of like, especially considering the fact that many players have rolled beforehand. Now, if you're someone who's never rolled in this event whatsoever, you can definitely justify some rolls, but the biggest issue is the bottom rarity just doesn't hold too much value outside of perhaps maybe say Mystic Elf and the new stuff they added. Because one of the big selling points of the event before was Fortress Dragon along with Weapon Assist, because Weapon Assist long ago were reasonably scarce, so having cards that had Weapon Assist was pretty big deal. So we've definitely come quite a long ways since that point in time. But if that being said, I still want to go through the cards to give you a bit of an idea of what you can expect from this event. So the first 7-star card that I'm going to talk about is Kaiba, and Kaiba has always had gargantuously large stats, doesn't really change. He has gained access to this Levitation Awakening, and Levitation Awakenings are by far the best source of damage output for super gravity-based dungeons, so any card that has this Levitate Awakening is obviously going to be pretty spectacular in super gravity-based dungeons. Drawback is Kaiba is, well, a blue VDP card, and right now blue VDPs are not quite taking off. Maybe they will one day. Like, I know the new Norza Evo has a bunch of them, but we're just not... Blobs tend to be better, or rows, so it's just like, maybe one day. For their active skill, it's a 4-turn cooldown that makes a row of water on the top and bottom, so it's pretty strong in that sense. Leader skill, it's got great immense bulk in terms of health and damage reduction with auto follow attack, but again, nowhere really great to pair it with or use it. Kaiba in his other form has 100% damage reduction shield and 1 turn of damage and attribute absorption cancellation along with 8 skill boosts. So with 8 skill boosts, that's pretty crazy when you think about it, along with huge stats in general. Drawback is on a 13-turn cooldown, it's not going to come up often enough, and it's just going to be underwhelming because of that. On the other hand, his newest evolution, which is not new in this rerun, but it's newer relatively speaking, features that beautiful Levitation Awakening along with a huge attack stat. What Gung-Ho sometimes does is takes away offensive awakenings and just gives bigger attack stats in order to compensate. So the 7 combo was dropped for a Levitation, and well, you know, he's going to actually still deal respectively large amounts of damage with 777 combo L and the Levitation. Like, it's not going to be amazing, but it's pretty decent overall. And then the active skill is legitimately helpful, I still would say, because 3 turns you get 50% damage reduction. So that's always a nice thing because big shields help you stay alive. 3 turns of an attack buff, and then 3 turns of delay. Good chance you're going to benefit from several of these aspects, so it's never going to be necessarily a bad active skill to bring. Drawback is looping shields tend to be a bit more stylish and powerful, but, you know, it's something that you possibly could acquire. And then their weapon assists are probably where most of the value will be found. Obelisk, the Tormentor card, is just kind of like a weapon assist I used to just slap on a card because it did a bit of everything. Kind of does that in a way. You get 2 seconds of movement time, Team HP, Team RCV skill boost, that same 100% damage reduction active skill, so it's essentially 2 effective skill boosts when it overcharges, and 1 turn of absorption cancellations, and then the orb generation. But it's the other weapon assist that might just be his best one, potentially, because right now, triple Team HP awakenings are pretty much the best we're going to get, relatively speaking, and it comes with a enhanced water combo. It comes with a second of movement time, but it still comes with this nice active skill of delay. And for Seawolf Daytona, Royal Oak Nautilus, they need some way to transform all the way, so delays, haste are a good way to bridge that intermediate transformation step. And this weapon assist comes with that delay, comes with 3 Team HPs, which is kind of like the benchmark for like the most you feasibly are going to get. So great active skill, great weapon assist from Awakening's point of view. It's probably the form that I would be making if you had a Kaiba. I wouldn't necessarily monster exchange for Kaiba, but like I think this is a pretty strong weapon assist. And now we come to Yugi, who is obviously the star of the show. And Yugi has multiple different evolutions. So in the first form, it's a transforming card that needs 20 turns to transform, nothing special there. But when they are transformed, they have a zillion VDPs, so New Year's Ladua teams can obviously benefit from that as either, like, say, asymmetrical pairing potentially, or even just as a sub, because on a 3-turn cooldown, you change fire, water, and hazards into dark, so that's a great orb generator, and then you get 2 turns of combo count increase, which is actually quite useful for New Year's Laduas potentially, and then 2 turns of bypassing damage absorption shield effects. So you ignore damage absorption for 2 out of 3 turns. You have bonus combos for 2 out of 3 turns, and a heavy orb generator. It's a great active skill when you think about it. Like, it's one of the most overtuned transforming active skills when I personally think about it. And then their leader skill is big bulk, like just big bulk, flat HP, flat RCB, which tends to be more favorable in current endgame dungeons because they're more about big hits, not necessarily gravity. And then you completely ignore poison damage effects, so you can kind of ignore that resist. And then as long as you're a devil type card, you're going to be happy. So New Year's Ladua and Yugi can definitely be played with each other, mix match, that sort of idea. He can't double damage cap Yugi, but this active skill is pretty spicy overall. It gives you a good chance of making many combos with all those dark orbs being generated. And then for his cleric style form, it's got triple 10 combo with the chance at levitation or another 10 combo. So super gravity dungeons take levitate unless you need skill boost plus and you don't really care for another damage dealer. And then for regular dungeons, again, skill boost plus or 10 combo. The active skill is a bit long. At a 9-turn cooldown, you give a full HP heal, remove all awoken skill binds, 2-turn delay, change the top row to dark and bottom row to light. I like my clerics to have extremely low cooldowns because there's a good chance you're going to need them back to back or at least reasonably close in between. And 9-turn cooldown is definitely a bit painful overall. On the other hand, the leader skill again can be utilized with basically most dark teams as long as you connect 4 or more match light or dark orbs. It's just flat stats, so it's never going to be a bad thing, just minus the auto fall attack. And now his newest evolution is interesting. So they have 4 VDPs, so again, New Year's Ladua teams can definitely make use of it. They have the levitation, the same 10 combo or skill boost plus. The active skill is a 6-turn cooldown that gives you 1-turn delay, all orbs being enhanced, and then 3 times movement time, RCV, and attack for all monsters. So it's kind of like a universal buffer, and it's an okay cooldown. Like, it will get rid of the negative orbs if you don't have any other enhancers on the team. And then as a leader, you can't match 3 or less orbs. And you have no auto follow-up attack, no bonus combos, but you have gargantuously large stats. It's 25 times health and recovery and 625 times attack. So strong damage output, especially when you match that VDP. Big health, easy time recovering, but the problem is your combo count is going to be abysmally low. There's no bonus combos. You get orb movement time bonus. Maybe on 7x6 this could be utilized because when you think about it, 6-turn cooldown, easy enough to swap into position. I don't have Yugi, so I can't really play around with it, but as a leader skill, on paper it's strong, but you have to be mindful of the fact that, well, you can't match 3 or less orbs, which is definitely going to be awkward. Combos are going to be difficult to overcome. Maybe Yugi in his other form with the bonus combos can make it help out a little bit more in that case. For Yugi's weapon assist, you've got tons of dark rows, tape resist, skill bind resist, that cleric style active skill. Cleric style active skill is okay as a weapon assist. It's okay to be longer because you're probably using it once and then never again. For his new weapon assist, it gives you double team HP and a VDP awakening. So any VDP based team is going to instantly fall in love with this weapon assist. You get the bulk and damage output. Great stuff all around. The active skill is an 18-turn cooldown for attack bonus for light, 8 bonus combos, and then 3 turns of haste. So overcharging is never going to be a bad thing. You can overcharge it, haste everyone up, get going for whatever team you're actually playing through. Would I monster exchange for Yugi? Probably not. It'd be nice if I had one, but I don't know. Maybe if I really wanted to jump on that New Year's Ladua train, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like not that great. Like, it's just a little awkward, I feel. For Jaden, Yuki, and Wing Karibo, they're a new background music card, so if you have the funds to do so, you could purchase them. And then with their active skill, it's a 25-turn cooldown to transform, so then you get on your way. You get 100% damage reduction as well, which is nice. But once transformed, you have the levitation, so obviously a super gravity-based card. They have triple 10 combo, so triple 10 combo used to deal spectacular amounts of damage, and with the levitation, it's going to be pretty spectacular for the most part in super gravity still. They have an L, they have a VDP. Their active skill is a 3-turn cooldown that gives them a damage cap increase to 7 billion. So in theory, they could do 14 billion if you're like hitting on the sub-attribute as well, with probably matching VDP. And then you get Orb Unlock and changes both columns to light orbs. So that's guaranteeing yourself either 2 Ls or a VDP or whatever combination of pattern you really need. So a nice active skill in that regards over there. Can definitely function as a sub in a sense if you need another orb generator or just a hard-hitting card. Their leader skill has immense bulk. 16 times HP is kind of a thing of the past now. So we're starting to definitely see cards with higher amounts of effective health. They have bonus combos and auto-follow attacks, so it obviously looks a little bit better than Yugi already. Their active or leader skill gives you damage reduction when matching 5 or more connected light orbs, bonus combos for that as well, and auto-follow attack. So basically, match 5 or more connected light orbs in Ls or whatever shape you want, and you have a great leader skill. Can definitely pair with other things like, is it Ultraman Geats or Kamen Rider Geats? Geats either way. There's a couple of possible light leaders they can definitely be paired with. They could even just self-pair as well. And again, their active skill does generate orbs, so you're going to have a good time. And you don't technically need to match light orbs to survive. You already have 4 times HP for light cards. So in theory, just matching 5 light orbs is not necessary. It does give you a bit more damage reduction, which is obviously nice, but it's not necessary to survive. For their weapon assist, it has triple team HP, a light sub-attribute, and an L. Again, triple team HPs are definitely becoming a little bit more attractive. I'm probably most interested in most of these cards for their weapon assist potential because weapon assists tend to last the longest, and it's a full cleric-style active skill. So again, it's nice to slap on a given team, especially if you're light-based. You get triple team HP and a sub-attribute. Nothing bad going to happen, and then L as well. Next card is Merrick. And Merrick in this form is just not something we're going to really pay attention to. So we're going to go to his cleric form, because the cleric form tends to be where he has a bit more zest, so to speak. You have double 10 combo with the levitation potential, and then their active skill is a 6-turn cooldown that gives you full unmatchable clear, bind, and awoken bind, 1 turn of bonus combos, and 1 turn of bypassing void damage void effects. So maybe you don't need the cleric active skill all the time. It's short enough that it will charge back up in a respectable time frame. It pierces through the damage void to help basically every team that's not VDP based. It's a nice card to have for sure. Would I trade for it again? Probably not. But again, it is a solid cleric all around for a wide variety of teams. And with that levitation awakening, they can actually deal meaningful amounts of damage in super gravity dungeons, or much better than it looks on paper, so to speak. And then for their weapon assist, it's got a 7 combo now slapped on with Cloud Resist, Skill Bind Resist. I don't think this set of Awakening combinations really ever shows up in any other cards, so I guess it's kind of cool, along with that same active skill. Next is Pegasus and Toon World. So this is a Orb Skin card, so you could purchase it directly, but they have definitely lost a lot of their luster since their inception long ago. So their transforming form has a 20-turn cooldown with only 1 skill boost, which is definitely a little awkward. But then you get 2 turns of 100% damage reduction, which is kind of wild. But when transformed, they have triple 10 VDP, and they want to match basically 5 or more connected dark orbs to function. Their leader skill has the potential for immense bulk if your team is comprised of balanced god and or devil types. It does stack, so a card with all 3 typings, such as himself, can technically benefit from his leader skill the most, or 2 out of the 3 typings. And then their active skill gives you an Orb Unlock, creates 9 dark over non-heal, and locks dark orbs. So you're guaranteed to have that VDP if it's necessary, or whatever possible pattern you want. It is, I guess, an okay leader skill, but nothing that great because you have to kind of really use cards with the exact same typings. For this evolution here, they have triple quad 7 combo with the levitation once again. They have 2 skill boosts. They have 4 enhanced dark orbs, which is deceptively helpful, I feel. And then a 9-turn cooldown that gives a 2-turn delay, enhance orbs, lock orbs, and 2 turns of 75% damage reduction. I would like this much more as like a weapon assist because like this active skill is nice, but I don't know, like I find it possibly a little awkward because like I guess the shielding can be good, you could survive, but I don't know. I feel like the weapon assists are going to be just the way to go for most cards anyways. Leader skill wants to match 5 or more dark orbs, and you want to basically be devil typing. Nothing super spectacular. For their new weapon assist, it's that interesting active skill that's delay plus shield. So it's quite helpful. There's some times on floors where you can't delay every spawn, so you delay some of them and then you shield through the others. Not necessarily going to be a bad thing. It gives you the dark sub attribute, 100% poison resist cloud, and 2 enhanced dark orb awakenings. Again, unique combination of awakenings for the weapon assists. And then his original weapon assist is skill boost, 100% jammer now, 40% poison, and then their active skill is a 13-turn cooldown that gives you 100% shield, and then 3 turns of damage absorption cancellation. I remember when is it UN1? I think it is UN1. I think it's UN1. Basically where the Albrecht spawns. When that dungeon first came out, this card was available, and it was by far the absolute best solution to solve Dark Albrecht and Blue Albrecht because you could delay the dark one, and you could absorb through them, or you could tank the gigantic hit from the dark one, or cancel the absorption effect from the blue one. That type of active skill is still unique, but the instances where we need it are definitely less prominent. It's MD. What am I talking about? MD1, not UN1. MD1 when it first came out. That is where this weapon assist was so great. Every time I was trying to build a team for it, I didn't have this weapon assist. I wish I did, but now I don't really care, unfortunately. And those are all the 7 stars you are able to potentially acquire. Now, for the 6-star cards, Joey Wheeler is possibly going to be the star of the show, so to speak. In this form here, they can have levitation. They have a wide range of different super awakenings. They have the L shield. They have 4 skill boosts. With L shield, they could be 7 skill boosts. And then their active skill is 1 turn of dark orbs unmatchable. So that clears other unmatchable. So just assuming you're not a dark-based team, you'll be fine. And then for 2 turns, you bypass damage absorption, and then 2 turns of 3 times attack for fire. In terms of cooldowns, this is one of the lowest absorption cooldowns we have, and it's not 1 but 2 turns. And the attack buff is definitely going to be meaningful, along with the fact that you overwrite unmatchable. Pretty great utility card all around, and in super gravity dungeons, he is actually going to be dealing respectable amounts with that levitation awakening. But if this Joey Wheeler doesn't interest you, he has many, many other forms. This new Joey Wheeler has triple 10 combo with an L, potentially 4 skill boosts in total. Their active skill is a 6-turn cooldown that gives you 4 times attack for this particular card, so they will hit hard. 4 times attack for fire and dark, and then after a single turn of waiting, you gain 100% damage reduction. There definitely can be instances where there will be executes in dungeons, which are obviously problematic. And if you can plan this out appropriately, you can dodge nasty effects. 75% damage reduction is oftentimes quite a bit, but Gung Ho is definitely slapping in like millions upon millions of damage to execute people. So this technically can solve that problem. But then again, the fun doesn't stop there. They can also function as a sub there, but they have other weapon assists. So this weapon assist has 2 L's, so if there's an L-based team, maybe that'd be kind of cool. Same active skill. I think it's a little awkward. I wouldn't necessarily pursue that form. For Red Eye's Black Dragon, they have a 7x6 board along with 4 times HP for dragon type. So if you have ways to heal up, you have a bulky 7x6 leader that only needs to match 5 or more connected fire or dark, so you could possibly leader swap in. They have 4 skill boosts, and they have 7 combo awakenings and the levitation. So again, they could deal meaningful amounts of damage in those super gravity dungeons. On a 5-turn cooldown, they get 3 times personal attack, 3 times for fire and dark, and then 1 turn of attribute absorption cancellation and a full board enhance. Again, these various evolutions are doing quite unique aspects, and the more overlap you can have with the value of that active skill versus mechanics you're facing, the better value this card will have. But again, there are more weapon assists. The original weapon assist is full bind immunity and L, skill bind resist, 60% blind resist. Can definitely be a strong option on your bind vulnerable cards because it gives a plethora of other useful awakenings. And then for this weapon assist, they have a physical killer, which might be useful, an L, team HP, team RCD, 40% jam resist, and that low cooldown that was pretty exciting for one of their forms. Again, Joey Wheeler is a card you actually have to roll. You can't purchase him, unfortunately, and he does quite a wide range of stuff, so duplicates of him is not necessarily going to be a bad thing. For Rex Raptor, I'm most interested in this form here because they're potentially triple 10 combo or double 10 with a levitation. They have a physical typing, so I guess Millie, if anyone wants to use it, could possibly utilize them. But for TPA-based teams, it is valuable. 4-turn cooldown, that gives them 4 times personal damage, and then 1 turn of Void, Damage Void, and full board enhance. It's always nice to have great options for your Void, Damage Void. I guess if you had Rex Raptor, you could use this, and maybe Millie could be cool one day. Probably not, but like, you know, Millie's slowly collecting more cards to potentially make a team for herself. For their weapon assist, it's a TPA, full bind immunity, and triple team RCVs. It's a 3-turn delay. I guess if you needed healing output, it'd be kind of cool, but I feel like for a 4-turn piercing option, it is going to be a stronger option in this new form here, along with quite a hefty health stat. Blue Eyes White Dragon, I never was super excited for this card. It's an orb skin. I don't purchase it. But their active skill in this weapon assist is going to give you 1 turn of damage absorption cancellation, making a column of water and a column of light orbs. So again, I guess kind of unique patterns. The Awakenings are 4 enhanced water orbs and a VDP and attack while above 50% with combo orbs. So I guess for mono water teams, it could be a valuable weapon assist to layer on additional damage, but nothing particularly special. This orb skin has not aged well. For my Valentine, I feel like this is the form that's going to have the most value. It could be a 6 skill boost card or 4 with double 10, double TPA, and levitation if you really wanted. But it's this 5-turn active skill that gives you damage absorption and attribute absorption cancellation for a single turn. It unlocks the board and creates a board of firewood and jammer orbs. You probably want to match the jammer orbs away, but again, it is a reasonably low cooldown on a that is a board changer and an absorption cancellation. Again, it's just unique possible combinations of cards. Her weapon assist, I was never particularly excited for. It gives like delay, follow, and we're not going to really care about that. For Weevil, like the weirdest thing about Weevil is he has a self-active skill delay for the whole team. So the whole team gets reduced by 1 turn. Not a good thing in most cases, but sometimes when playing in co-op, and this is what I did a long time ago, was cards would overcharge their active skills in co-op, and you can utilize this weapon assist to uncharge them. Very gimmicky, very finicky, but I guess that's, in all honesty, the most unique aspect of him, I feel, overall, because I don't want to make poison orbs appear. Like, I don't know, like, I guess you're just 8 skill boosts. Like, I guess that could be kind of cool, but I guess you Void, Damage Void as well on a 5-turn cooldown. I don't know, like, not particularly sold on Insect Queen overall. And then this big Moth card has 2 skill boosts. I guess a 2 skill boost card is pretty unique for the most part, but with a low base cooldown, it might overcharge, and you may or may not necessarily want it. In their other form here, it's got a bunch of 7s, got levitation. It wants to make no Skyfalls return, only Wood, Dark, and Hearts appear, and then replaces. It's not solving many problems, so a bit of an awkward card overall. And then their OG form is just like awkward. For T, I think she's an underwhelming card overall. Like, yeah, you're just an underwhelming card. Like, you're a long 10-turn cleric, has no damage, not like just extremely high RCV, but we seem to be having other ways to solve healing. The weapon assist gives you 2 skill bind resist, but again, like nothing particular. I think the 5-star Mystic Elf is much more exciting. For Dark Magician Girl, she has a bunch of different forms, and Fortress Dragon does transform into her, and this is why Yu-Gi-Oh! Collab was great before, because this could have been a full team, because when they transformed, they have the right typings for Yu-Gi-Nell, because they're balanced and devil typing. It's going to totally go forward again. But at this point in time, this is just not that particularly great. Like, yes, you're double brick on a 3-turn cooldown. I don't know. Whatever, it's just not that good of a card compared to what it used to be, in all honesty. Exodia, the Forbidden One, his weapon assist is pretty wild still. 100% blind resist and double team HP. Never going to be a bad thing to own. I would like to own one just to have in my monster box. And then the active skill itself is not bad. You get damage and attribute absorption cancellation and piercing through damage void. And then 1 turn of 10 times attack for light and dark. Strong likelihood you're going to kill whatever you're facing with that active skill. And then if crosses ever come back and Phyllis becomes cool again, Exodia in this form is obviously going to be quite exciting. But that's not the case at this point in time. Maybe one day if crosses come back. And then their other weapon assist is full bind immunity, skill boost, team HP, team RCB. I'm just much more interested in the double team HP with the full blind resist. I think that's the most valuable form for Exodia. For Dark Magician, I think they're underwhelming. Like, they're just like a mediocre damage card. They have a 3-turn delay with bonus combos for 3 turns, changes hazards into dark. Nothing good, nothing special. He was only kind of utilized a while ago because Yugi Nell upon debut was a big thing, and they were just a solution to help you out. But in this case here, I am not interested in this card really, unless for certain instances where I need a huge amount of bonus combos for a short period of time, more niche than anything else. Summon Scully is hilariously strong against God-type spawns, so if you're playing a dungeon with God-type spawns, he is going to deal comical amounts of damage output. And they can even take God Killer Latents because more is definitely more. With triple God Killer, 10 combo, a VDP, and a Levitation, they can absolutely decimate any God-based spawn. And the active skill is a 3-turn cooldown that gives you an attack buff for every type of physical, attacker, or devil on the team. So it could be a huge attack buff. And then it also gives you a light to dark orb on a 3-turn cooldown. So never going to be a bad card when you need to actually kill God-type spawns. And then the new Orb Skin card, way better than Blue Eyes White Dragon, has a bunch of VDPs. So again, New Year's Lajua or like Yugi style teams will definitely say hello. And then on a 4-turn cooldown, they give you no Skyfalls. They give you Dark Orbs more likely to appear by a significant margin. And then 1 turn of increasing combo count by 5 and then replaces the board. So it's kind of a convoluted way to get Dark Orbs, a chance at getting Dark Orbs, and more combos. A little awkward, I feel, overall, because it's not a guarantee. But on the other hand, their weapon assist is 2 7-combo Awakenings and 2 enhanced Dark Orbs. If I'm not mistaken, this is the only double 7-combo card from a weapon assist that exists, and that means 4 times personal damage for the owning card. Just this alone is unique and powerful, and it can definitely help out any given card who needs to deal more damage, especially in this era of super gravity. But then again, if Levitation starts becoming more popular, who knows what we might see in the future. And then for the 5-star cards, Mystic Elf is possibly the most valuable one simply because of Royal Oak, Nautilus, and Sea Tona, because they are a 5 rarity card that has 6 skill boosts with Super Awakenings. And the L Shield means they can acquire these skill boosts plus latent. So they can be 9 skill boosts, and who cares about their personal damage? Doesn't matter, but it could be 9 skill boosts or 6 skill boosts, and they can remove the Cloud Tape Resist if they take that latent, because they do have a follow-up attack. But most likely it's going to be 9 skill boosts. Only stat that really matters is their health stat for those teams, because it's a 7-turn cooldown that gives you a 50% health heal, as well as a full Cleric-style active skill, while also making hard orbs, because why not? But Sea Tona and Naughty Oak don't heal 50% health with their active skills. So you can use Mystic Elf for an increased amount of healing, along with the fact that they bring so many skill boosts. And at 5-star rarity, they're probably not competing with any other card that you wanted to necessarily bring. So that alone is possibly make it more appetizing to roll in this event, because most players have one of those 2 great leaders, and Mystic Elf is a bottom rarity card, so a bit higher chance. So again, most people who've rolled heavily in the past probably have no need to get another Mystic Elf. But if you haven't, there is definitely some justification to picking up a Mystic Elf. For the Celtic Guardian, it's a new card. They have triple 10 combo, potentially 4 skill boosts. They have an active skill that gives Void, Damage Void on a 4-turn cooldown, unlocks the board, and changes a column to Wood Orbs. Not necessarily going to be a bad thing for mono wood teams, but I'm not quite sure how I could truly utilize it. Their weapon assist has an interesting spread of awakenings between a cross and double skilled bind resist, along with a pierce, but not super into them necessarily. And then finally for Time Wizard, they have many Ls, many Ls. So matching an L will give them large amounts of personal damage. Their active skill is a 7-turn cooldown that creates a spinner in the top corner, and then for 5 turns you have bonus movement time and a 1 turn of haste. So it is interesting, I guess. You can manipulate time, which I guess is important. I have seen some people utilize them as like a saline swap for like Ultra 1 rank EXP farming, because it is a high amount of, it's a high damage multiplier. It does give you that auto follow attack. These L's makes it so a single L of light does deal spectacular amounts of damage for Time Wizard themselves. So I've seen some people utilize it, but again, hard to say. Again, it's a new card at least, so it might be interesting. And then their weapon assist gives you 4 seconds of more movement time. I don't think any other card gives more movement time through a weapon assist than Time Wizard, which I guess makes sense. So again, novel and unique stuff. Like, who knows, maybe one day it will be particularly exciting. For Gandora, I'm not particularly hyped for this card necessarily. Like, you cut your own health, you get an attack buff for every team HP awakening, you have attack while below 50%. I don't know, it's a little awkward. Weapon assist, double team HP, attack while below 50%, enhanced Dark Awakening. I can see this being a bit more useful because it's damage for particular cards and more bulk. And then back row, who I did forget before, is just poisonous and toxic, so to speak, and I'm not particularly interested in this card. Yeah, Poison Meta didn't really take off. Weapon Assist gives you Poison Blessing. It's just not something I want to see. So, in conclusion, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Collab does have quite an interesting spread of Weapon Assist. I'd be most interested in this event for the Weapon Assist. But again, if you've rolled heavily in the past, there's not too much need to roll nowadays. But if you've never rolled beforehand, you don't have a Mystic Elf, there are definite justifications for trying to pick up Mystic Elf for your Seed Tona teams, because it will open up team building options, because now your Cleric is a 5-star rarity and you have all the other rarities to play around it. Life may be a bit easier overall. Now, with that being said, let me know what you, ladies and gentlemen, think about this event in the comment section down below. Do you think it's actually worth rolling in, or are you going to simply pass and just utilize your free rolls? Regardless of all that, hopefully all you lovely ladies and gentlemen out there have a truly fantastic day. I wish you the best luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.